record. 1 through 4. We are naming different types of angles. So if you look at number 1, it says, what kind of angles are angle 1 and angle 4? What would those be called? Those are corresponding. Remember, corresponding means you're sitting in the same spot from the vertex. So this is top left and top left. Those are corresponding angles. Okay. What are 6 and 8 called? Alternate interior. They're inside the parallel lines, but they're on opposite sides of our transversal. Q would be our transversal right now, right? So those are alternate interior angles. What are 2 and 3? Same side interior angles. Same side interior angles. Okay, now stop and look at those 3. What do you know about these 2? If lines are parallel, then they are what? Congruent, right? If lines are parallel, then alternate interiors and correspondings and alternate exteriors, for that matter, are congruent. What do you know about same side interiors? Be snaky.
Equals 180.
Supplementary. Yes, same side interiors are supplementary. So keep that in mind throughout the test. If you see same side interiors, you should be adding them together and setting them equal to 180. If you see alternate interiors, correspondings, alternate exteriors, you should be setting them equal to each other. Okay? All test long. Okay, what are 5 and 6?
Vertical angle?
Those are verticals. Yep, angle 6 and angle 5, right? When they share a vertex like that, they cannot be corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, any of those types of angles. When they share a vertex, chances are they are vertical angles or a linear pair. Any questions on those? Okay, look at number 5 here. It says, suppose that the measure of angle 8 is 35 degrees. What is the measure of angle 1? The same. It would be 35.
Exterior or?
Yep, those are alternate exterior angles, right? Opposite sides of the transversal, but outside of the parallel lines. So alternate exterior angles on that one. Number 6, so ignore what we did in the last problem. That doesn't affect this problem. Angle 4 and angle 5. Take a look at those. What kind of angles are 4 and 5?
Alternate interior.
Alternate interior. So what are we doing with those expressions? Set them equal. So 3x plus 9 should equal 6x minus 12. So simplify that. Take away the 3x, add the 12. So you get 3x equals 21, and then divide by 3. So x would be 7. Questions on that? Which ones do you add together and set equal to 180? Same side interiors, right? So like 3 and 5, we would have added them together. 4 and 6, we would have added them together. All the rest of them you set equal, okay? Okay, look at the picture down below here. Which lines would have to be parallel if I tell you that 1 is congruent to 4? A and B, okay? If you look at angle 4 and angle 1, we're not even touching N, right? N has nothing to do with this problem. So A and B would be our parallels, and M would be our transversal, okay? So we would say that A is parallel to B. So which lines are parallel? Moving at a snail's pace over here, sorry. If I know this, 1 and 2 equal 180.
M and N.
That one's M and N, right? These two are using these lines, which means A is not even part of it. So if M and N add up to 180, then M would be parallel to N. Questions on that? Okay. These ones look just like your quiz questions. I took the same picture, I just changed the letters a little bit. Parallel to JF.
J or
GK.
GK would be one,
I
IM would be one,
HL.
and LH or HL would be one. These three, right, are all parallel. They're vertical. You could put a plane through them. A lot of times IM gets a little confused, but you can put a plane through that. So IM is one that is parallel. Okay, this one. Now we want skew. Tell me what skew means.
It's like perpendicular. If it's parallel, then it's perpendicular and not like touching, right?
Doesn't have to be perpendicular, but not touching and not in the same what? Plane, okay? So if you look at HF, here's HF. What line would be skew to HF? JK would be one. Never going to touch it, but not parallel, not in the same plane. So JK would work. What else? IM would work. GK, I heard, would work. What's the last one? LM. Now there are other ones, they're just not drawn in. So you could say like IL, right, would be a line that would be skew. But when they're not drawn in, we don't usually go that route. And you only need two. I gave you all of them, but you only need two of those. Good to move on? Okay. 10 and 11. First of all, on number 10, okay, they mark these lines parallel for you. So what type of angles are we seeing there? Same side interior, which means what? They equal 180. So you're going to go 2x minus 38 plus 4x minus 25 equals 180. Okay, so simplify that. 2x plus 4x is 6x. Negative 38 minus 35 is a negative 63. Here's where a lot of people messed up on the last quiz, and it was a silly mess up. What do you do next? Add 63. Don't subtract it. Add 63. Good old algebra. So you get 6x equals 2. Did I do that right? Equal 2. Equals. What did I just do? Oh, no. Sorry, I moved on to a different question in my head already. My last class was asking me a different one. This would be 117. What? Yeah? What did I just do? Oh, I'm adding. Guys, I just did it after I told you not to. It was 243. I'm not crazy, I promise. Divide by 6. What do you get? 40.5. Okay. Questions on that? So same side interiors, right? Be careful with those. They are supplementary. Look for the same side interiors. What kind are number 11? Corresponding. And what do you know about correspondings? They're congruent. These two angles are congruent. So you're going to take those measures, 2x plus 18, and I just scribbled it out, 4x minus 24, and set them equal. Okay, so simplify, take away 2x. You're left with a 2x. Add the 24. You have 42, and then divide by 2. So x is 21. How can you check your answers on these, on all of these? Plug it back in. If you plug a 21 in here and a 21 in here, your angles should be equal. If you plug a 40.5 in here and here, the two angles you get should add up to 180. That's how you can check, okay? Questions on that? Okay. I have a question for you. Looking at this problem, just take a look at it for a minute here. Would you start by solving for x, Start by solving for y or start by solving for z. Every one of them is a possibility. There is no wrong answer here. I just want to know where your brain is at, okay? So raise your hand if you start with x. Nobody? Wow. Okay, raise your hand if you start with y. This is me. I start with y. Okay, raise your hand if you start with z. That is so funny. I can't believe how many people start with z. Z is way more work than x. But in every class so far, I've had more z's than x's. Okay. I still think there were more y's than z's, right? So we're going to start with y, and I like y. So let's start there. Why start with y? What can you do? Yeah, John.
They are, I forget what they were. They're linear pairs?
A linear pair. Yeah, you have a straight line. So these two angles form a linear pair. So you can say 63 plus y equals 180, because they make a straight line. Take away that 63, and y is 117. Okay, so 117 degrees, and I would write that in if I were you, because it helps you down the road with other things. Shall we go to z, since so many more people liked z? I would still, for me right now, I would do x next. Let me show you why. 41, 90, and x makes a triangle, so I would do that. I'll show you that right here. X plus 41 plus 90 equals 180, okay? I'm not going to solve that right now because so many of you said z, so I'm going to start with z. You z people, what did you do to find z? What would you do?
It's alternate interior angle.
No. Oh, is that what everyone was thinking? Alternate interiors for z? Because there are not alternate interiors here. What do you need for alternate interiors? Parallel lines. And we don't have any parallel lines here. Oh, that's a good, I'm glad you said that, Jessica. I wonder if that's what everyone has been thinking on that. Here's what you would do. If you're going to start with z, take a look at this triangle. Okay, you have 41, 63, and something that makes a triangle. So that has to add up to 180, okay? So if you're going to do it that way, 41, let's get a pen, 41, 63, and we'll call this W for now, would have to equal 180. So you would take that away, that's 104. So this would be 76 degrees for that W angle. And how do you find Z from that? What do you see there? What's the box telling us? 90 degrees, right? So Z plus 76 would equal 90. How many of you were doing that when you said Z? Okay. Were the rest of you doing the alternate interior? Don't do alternate interior unless you see parallel lines. That's such a good catch. Okay, so we would take away 76 and we get Z is 14. Okay, and again, I would write that in so you can see what you're working with. So now how could you solve for X? If you don't do this way that I showed you earlier, what would you do? Do you see it here? You have a triangle and you know two of the three angles, right? You could say 14 and 117 and X should equal 180. So if you subtract that, you get 49. Does that sound right? Yeah, 49. Questions on that? Okay. Do you need to cross your midline? Have you lost focus? I've lost focus. I'm reviewing in every one of my classes today, you guys. I'm giving a test in every class tomorrow. It's the worst. Test days for all 5. That means, oh, so much grading. But it's all good. We'll get it done. Look at number 13. Do you remember these? I gave you 2 ways to do these problems. One was like a shortcut, and one was if you want to do it the longer way, what would it be? Anyone remember the shortcut way? Exteriors and remote interiors. How do you set it up the shortcut way?
95 plus x equals 140.
Yeah, if you add the remote interiors, so add these 2 together, it should equal the one exterior. Okay, so you could do it that way, take away 95, and you get x is 45. What was the other way that you could do it if you didn't remember the shortcut? Jonathan.
You know that 140 in the blank equals 180.
Right. So this is a straight line, right? Meaning this would be 40 degrees to add up to 180. And then you have 40 and 95 and x that has to equal 180. And you would still get 45. Okay, so you don't have to do it the shortcut way. But if you like the shortcut way, go for it. Yes, I am. Okay, then we move on. This is what you would probably have questions on from the homework. This is 3.8, okay? So if you had questions from the 3.8 homework, I'm going to answer them right now. It says write the equation of the line that's parallel to this equation. What do we care about in that? Just the m, which is what? Which is -3, okay? We don't care about the 7. We don't care about the x. We don't care about the y. The only thing that we're looking for here is what is the slope. So if lines are parallel, what's true of their slope? They're the same. So that means my slope is going to be -3, and we're going to go through this point. So if you have a slope and you have a point, what form are we putting it in? Point slope, right? And I'm going to give you this on the test. Okay, you will see this at the top of the section where you need to use that formula. Lay that out for me. What would your answer be?
Y
Y
minus 5.
minus 5 equals -3 x plus 2.
Good catch on the +2. So y minus your y value equals the slope, right? This is your m, times x minus a -2 is x plus 2. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. 15. Are those parallel or perpendicular?
Perpendicular.
How? How do you know?
It's a reciprocal and opposite.
Opposite reciprocals, yes. 1/3 and -3. We don't care about any of the rest of this. All we care about are the slopes. And those are opposite reciprocals. And we know that opposite reciprocals are perpendicular. Sorry, that's the symbol for perpendicular. Okay, what do you do with 16? We want the line that goes through those 2 points. What do we have to do first?
Y2 minus Y1.
Yes, so this is the formula that you're not given, okay? You need to know this one. This is the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And if I were you, label them. x1, y1, x2, y2, okay? So y2 minus y1 is 12 minus 6. And then x2 minus x1 is -1 minus a -4. So +4. So simplify that. 12 minus 6 is 6. -1 plus 4 is a +3. So what's your slope? 2, right? Just simplify that. You have a slope of 2. Which point do you use? Any point you want, right? You may use either one. Your answer is going to look different than your neighbor's, but that's okay. They're both right, okay? Not that you would ever look at your neighbor's answers on a test, though, right? Right. Okay, so I'm going to pick this one just because it's already my x1, y1. So it would be y plus or minus? -6 equals
2.
the 2, the slope, times
Plus
+4. Minus a -4 is x plus 4. That's probably the question that gets done wrong on this test the most. There's one just like that. Find the slope, pick one of the points, drop them both in. I believe in you. You can do it. Okay, 17. how do I make something perpendicular to this?
Switch the sign.
Opposite reciprocal. Yes. So opposite reciprocal of what?
3/2.
The negative 2/3. We don't care about this. We don't care about this. All we care about is this negative 2/3. So my new slope, my perpendicular slope is what?
3/2 positive.
Positive 3/2. Okay, so we have a point and we have a slope and we're literally just dropping it into that form. So it's going to be y plus or minus? Minus 7, right? Y minus my y value equals the slope, and then x minus a negative 4 would be x plus 4. So that is your equation. Okay. Home stretch. You ready? Okay. These ones are just some graphing problems. So basically on the test, I'm going to ask you, are they parallel, are they perpendicular, or is it neither? And then graph it to verify it. So I just want to make sure you guys are good at graphing a line, okay, in several different ways. How do you graph something that is in slope-intercept form?
Start with the y-intercept.
Right, y-intercept first, okay, and it's a y-intercept. Which one's your y-axis? The vertical, right? So this should not go left and right at all. This should go up and down is the only thing. So this one you're going down 1. Down 1. Where do I move from there?
Over 2 to the
You can't go over 2 yet. You got to go where? Down 1 over 2. So a negative 1/2 is going to go down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2, and we get this line, which I totally missed, but pretend I hit it. Okay. How do you graph this one then? First step. Down 5, right? Minus 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my y-intercept. It's my y-axis. And then where do you move for the slope? 4/1 is your slope, essentially, right? So up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 1, up 2, 3, 4, to the right 1. This is your line. Good on that? Okay. Now this one's in a different form. How do you graph that?
3/4 is the slope.
3/4 is your slope, so this is your m. What form is this? Point slope. So you have a point and you have a slope. What's your point?
Negative 1, 2.
Nice save. -1, right? Opposite of what you see here. And flip them. Y is at the beginning, x is at the end. So -1, +2. -1, +2. That's my point. Now you do your slope. So we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is our line. And I hit my points. Look at that. Okay, last one. X equals 3 is what kind of line? X equals is always vertical, right? Y equals is horizontal, X equals is vertical. So X equals 3, 1, 2, 3, means every X value should be at 3. So that's a vertical line. Questions on that? You made it.